Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juggernaut, and this is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Today I wanted to make a really, well, what I hope will be a fairly short video, we'll see how it goes, about why this game's open world was perfect, or rather, is perfect. Now, I haven't played the new Legend of Zelda game, and I think they've used the same map or the same setting, something along those lines in that one. I'm not entirely sure. I've heard stories, but I haven't played it yet. I will eventually when I'm not so busy with work and everything, but the point being, this game's open world and really exploration and the whole sandbox element of it is perfect for an adventure game. For an adventure game being a very important distinction there, but I want to talk about why. Well, actually this is kind of the beginning area, so I'm not giving you much in the way of spoilers, but here's a great example. This game has a very, very neat and well nailed down balance between running around, exploring, jumping, and fighting. Occasionally you will find camps of enemies in which, you'll need to pull out your shield and your sword and you need to go at them and, maybe use your bow as well and fight them. There's also boss fights. There's also that thing in the sky, which I think at some point you need to fight or climb or whatever. There's also that thing where you need to go, and all of a sudden you look around and you realise the world is dotted with so many interesting things. I mean, even that mountain looks interesting. And here's the best part of this open world game. You can go everywhere, obviously, but that's not exactly new in open world games. No, what makes this game special is that you really want to go there because there's a reward. I mean, that mountain up there looks fascinating, right? There's all sorts of new ingredients, weapons, enemies, adventures, puzzles to solve, and rewards to reap. Pretty much anywhere you can point your finger at that looks mildly interesting, and I mean, well, that looks more than mildly interesting, but you get the idea, there's something to be done there. There is a reward, a story element, there is something to do. And that is pretty bloody amazing. But it's not just that, it's how you get there that I think this game nailed down so bloody well, where most other open world games just didn't do that, right? I'm thinking of some of the best open world sandbox RPGs and action games out there. Think of Ubisoft's, Ubisoft the publisher, right? Their open world games like the Assassin's Creed series, Valhalla, Odyssey and stuff like that. Most games like that, you can just go wherever you want, A to B. If I want to climb that mountain, I will literally go in a straight line up to that mountain most of the way through. And there is something to be said about that, but in this game, it makes it so much more interesting. You see this? It's a huge lake, I think, or it was a river and then it was walled off. It's a lake. I need to cross it. I can't swim across this. First of all, it's very wide and very deep, and I'm probably going to drown by the time I get to the other end, plus I can't exactly swim across and then climb up that wall. I'd run out of stamina like 10 times along the way. Now, if I prepare properly and go and make a whole heap of stamina potions, then yeah, maybe I'll be able to do it, but that's not the point. That preparation, which is also very important for an open world game, that preparation is only part of the issue here. Now, the ideal way for me to do this would be to find a way around. So there is this obstacle, and I need to find a way around it. Fascinating stuff, right? I love doing that. And then they all fall apart. Lovely. So there is this obstacle, and I need to find a way around it, or through it. Right, how do I do that? Well, here, rather obviously, you just go around it, but then there's another part on the map here, all in the starting area, by the way, which I think is really important too. This is not something that you get 15, 20, or 100 hours into the game. No, this is right at the start. There is a shrine up here that I found. It's on a mountain. Mountains are renowned for being cold. If I go up there dressed like this, I'm going to freeze to death. So what do? Well, I can find better clothing in different spots around the world, I suppose. I can try and find a leather jacket or a thick sweater or something, as kind of silly as that sounds. Or alternatively, I can find a whole bunch of spicy plants and make spicy food, which will give me warmth, or cold resistance, rather. Now, is it a little bit silly? Yes, but it's The Legend of Zelda. It's kind of meant to be a little bit silly, right? This is not exactly the most realistic game out there, but it gets the job done. The quintessential strategy, I suppose, or the most important part of all of this, is that there's two ways of doing things. One, preparation, and two, being smart and going around and finding the correct path through things. How about that tower? Well, some of these towers are difficult to climb, right? This one was fairly easy. Well, actually, you don't climb this one just catapults you up. But that one will be fairly difficult to climb. Maybe I don't have enough stamina. Again, find ingredients for stamina potions, or be smart about it. Upgrade your stamina permanently through various different upgrades and then get there eventually, or, you know, some other things. There's different ways to do things, and you need to involve your noggin to do it. And that, I think, is the single best thing about this game. The fact that a lot of the time you need to put your weapons away and start using your brain, right? The sharpest stick is only going to get you so far. This is an open world in all beautiful senses, right? The exploration, the adventure, the combat, yes, but also the going from A to B, not being so, well, A to B, right? It's glorious. It is truly, truly glorious. And, well, that's more or less it. But what I wonder is, why haven't more games done something like this? And ultimately, I must come to the sad conclusion that it's because doing this takes a lot of time. The world of this game is pretty bloody big, right? You can go from all sorts of places, there's all kinds of different biomes and stuff, and at no point does it feel empty. Pretty much every 100, 200 to 300 meters, you're going to find something worthwhile. You're going to find new enemies, new animals, new ingredients, resources, puzzles, spells, etc., all kinds of things. Tons of content. But at the same time, it never feels too much. And this is something that I find, well, on the one hand fascinating, but on the other hand also I'm very intrigued by the fact that this has been done so bloody well by the developers. You see, I blame a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, or the recent few Assassin's Creed games, for this, that they overbloat their games with needless grinds that just force you to play the game for on and on and on without really putting much content in there and without really being fun, which is, let's be honest, the primary objective for a game, right? To be fun. In Odyssey, this was a whole heap of collectibles which didn't really contribute much to the game, but you had to do it because you felt the sort of drive and, you know, you really wanted to. And then leveling up and advancing through combat and through the different areas also tends to feel like a little bit of a drag. The games are long and there's a lot of content, but the problem is that a lot of the time that length and that content is a bit artificial, right? In that it's a bit artificially elongated to make the game feel longer and, you know, well, not just feel longer, it will take you longer to complete it, but at the same time, there's also not that much in the way of content there for you that is actually fun. Legend of Zelda doesn't have anything like that. I mean, the only possible slightly annoying thing that you might have to do is the bit with, whatchamacallit, the seeds that you need to collect, but even that's fairly fun if we're honest. I mean, they're fairly well hidden, and yeah, I mean, that's... Okay, that was, Okay, don't explode too far off the edge, I need to get your stuff! Oh, God. Well, I suppose I could just go down and grab it. Okay, there we go. And even these puzzles, which, you know, sort of break the, I guess, exploratory pace of the game, they're always interesting, and there's always something a little bit extra for you to get, like that chest over there. you might think to yourself, oh, well, that's interesting. I wonder how I can get that. And you can go through the entire puzzle without getting it, but you kind of also feel the need to, you know, I guess more so out of idle curiosity than anything else, to go there and see what's up with that thing, I suppose. Right? So, anyways, oh. Right. Let me just put it there. Okay, there we go, that'll work. And yeah, I can end this now, but I really want that chest, so let me try and figure out how to get it. And there's all the other games suffer from this as well. I mean, recently I've played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and I hate to say it, but I gave up on the game halfway through. And the main reason was one of the most basic and most important collectibles in the game, the Lucky Dice, are not tracked anywhere in that game. And I realised that in order to find all of them, which I really wanted to 100% the game, I would either need to spend hours upon hours wandering through empty maps trying to find them, which just artificially elongates the game, or, and it's not really fun, or I would need to go to YouTube and look up a tutorial. And then, well, there's like 30 dice on the map, and I've collected 25, but the last 5 I don't remember which ones I collected and which ones I didn't, so I need to go through all of them. That's not very fun, that's not very good. This game doesn't have that problem. The collectibles, for the most part, are in plain sight. You know where they are, you just need to figure out how to get to them. Like this one, so for example, doing this isn't exactly going to do much for me, so I need to figure out how to get up there, and yeah, there's probably a way, and I'll try and find it, etc., but you get the idea. They've done just an incredible job of it, they really have. And I wonder if I can use the 2 cubes that I've found back there. That'd be interesting. So I found 2 cubes back there, like a move, like a metal cube. I wonder if that will be part of this solution or not. Yeah, here's hoping, right? Either way, Breath of the Wild really did a perfect job when it comes to that. Just the overall open world and the feeling of accomplishment, I guess, success that you get while playing and while running through the game and while unlocking all the story elements and all those things. It's really awesome. Alright, so anyways, that was me for the day. I promise this will be a really short video, but yeah, there you go. I think it's really awe-inspiring, and I wish more games would do it, but unfortunately they don't, so we're just left with this and its sequel for what I consider a perfect open world. Now, is it the perfect game? Is everything wonderful about it? But honestly, if you put in a couple of mods like I did to change the visuals a little bit, make the game a little bit more pretty, and also there is one game mechanic that I really hated, which was the durability on the weapons. Now I understand it's an important part of the balance of the game, but at the same time it's not that important. I mean, it's important for some of the best weapons, but for some of the more common stuff like these swords, I can just pick up more. So I guess that's where one part of the grind kind of comes in with this game, that some of the weapons are really difficult to come by, some of the good ones, like this claymore, when I use it up, it's gone. But I can find a whole bunch of these Traveler's Swords, or a whole bunch of these Boko Clubs at the beginning of the game. And then, yeah, I suppose in that sense, there is a bit of a grind there for the weapons. For the ingredients and stuff, you get so much of them that you don't really feel it, and it's really fun to do all the cooking stuff and crafting and etc, so I don't know about that, but oh, I think I know how to do this though. I think I know how to do this. I was thinking, put another box. One box there, one box there, and then up. Maybe. But now I'm not sure. I'll try and figure this out in my own time. Anyways, the only little bit of grind that you have in Zelda that is, or in Breath of the Wild, that isn't so fun, in my modest opinion, is the durability with the weapons. They break way too quickly and way too easily, and honestly, I think it distracts a little bit from the overall quality of the game, because you spend a lot of effort and a lot of time trying to get, like, a really cool weapon, and then it just breaks. And you're like, oh, right. Well, too bad. And I think this was it Angry Joe that reviewed this game or something, and he mentioned this as his least favourite part of the game, and I completely understand this, but mind you, this was a long, long while ago. This is a pretty old game now, but regardless of the fact, it's still, I don't want to say like a bit of an issue, but it's still a bit of an issue in that, you know, it's a little bit boring and not exactly the most fun thing in the world, but at the same time, it's not too bad compared to some of the other stuff that Ubisoft and even Bethesda does at times. And don't get me wrong, I love Skyrim, but like I said, at times this game can be, well, the open world can just not be as fun, because you just go from A to B, and you can just walk across that mountain. And yeah, mods tend to fix that, but here you actually need to think about how you're going to go from one place to another, and it's just fun. Now, to be fair, yes, these are entirely different games and different genres and everything. I know, it's fine. But, like I said, there is a lot to be said for both approaches to the open world. I just happen to prefer this one, and I think it doesn't really get enough attention and enough praise for what it's doing and what it did. So yeah, anyways, like I said, fairly short video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and honestly, look forward to hearing what you have to tell me about... Oh, did they... Ah, it resets. Okay, I did not know it resets. Okay. Okay, fair enough. But I can get the other two probably, I think, that way. And I don't think they would reset. Oh, interesting. Anyways, like I said, fairly short video. Covered pretty much everything I have. That's it. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, and I found a much simpler solution. That's just knock the chest off the pedestal up there. I thought I need to make like a ramp to get up to it, but it turns out I just need to think outside the box for a little bit. And yeah, there we go. It's Traveler's Bow, which isn't actually that great either compared to another one I found, but never mind. Alright, see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. And actually, I'm just realising I could have just picked the chest up. No. Live and you learn, right? And think outside the box a little bit more going forward. Got it.